Hi, I'm Sarah Wilder, and this is part 30D of Surviving the Man I Married. We're going to wrap up this lengthy, I'm sure you feel convoluted story. I've been investigating my husband, Jim. He's in Utah. I'm in California. We're selling every flipping thing we own, but things have gone sideways in a very bad way. And I've investigated Jim's Wi Fi activity, cell phone activity, and the gate access activity to our RV that we have in a secure stored yard. And all of it adds up to paint a very strange picture. So, after the day after that trailer sold, July 28, 29, 30, and 31, Jim had an estate sale. We had furniture, bicycles, just the truck, the trailer, you name it. 39 years of marriage, we had a lot of really great stuff. He told me he made $3,500 and we were going to split it. He had said he would comply with the lawyer. We were going to split that money. I never saw a dime of it, not a dime of it. So he'd already shafted me on the Jayco trailer, thousands. My share of what the profit should have been, if we'd have sold it on Facebook Marketplace, I would have had an extra $2,000, and so would he. I don't know what occurred at the dealership. You'll find out because I did in October. So in a few months, you'll hear that story. But I was livid. I was absolutely roiling. I guess the British say I was incandescent with rage over all the financial misdeeds. I had been warned. His higher self, Jim's own soul, promised me he would do all this. So, you know what? My mom told me in response to what Jim's higher self said, play the game, use your smarts, use what you already know, and play that game to protect yourself and get what's yours. I did. And I think my mom is the one that made the next thing happen. Remember, he was a cop for 27 years. Our paychecks were always direct deposited. And guess what? 2 days early, his paycheck hit our bank account 2 days early. And I took it. I took all of it. I left him with just a few $1,000s to deal with life. Sorry. Good luck with the first mortgage, the second mortgage, the truck payment, my Subaru payment, and the utilities. Sorry, buddy. How do you think that went over with a malignant narcissist? Not well, not well. Back to blocking Jim. And my lawyer was livid with me. He warned me and told me to return the money, at least return half of it. No way, man. No, I'd already paid his retainer $1,500, cheap, crappy lawyer that he was. Okay, so we are at this juncture where it's all out war. It's all out war. I've taken his whole paycheck. He's freaking out. He's frantic. He's texting me. He's just off. And I don't blame him. Like, I understand why he's there, but I'm playing the game. I have to do it. It's surviving the man I married. Guess what? It's surviving the man I'm divorcing. I should have named this series that, Surviving the Man I'm Divorcing. Okay, so we're in part 30D from now on. Just mentally, I'm thinking of it as that. That's the new title. So while all these financial misdeeds on his part, he had plenty of money in the bank from the yard sale. He could pay everything. Our mortgage was nothing. It was low. And so was our second mortgage. It was almost nothing. So he could do just fine with all that garage sale money. In the meantime, I was doing just fine. Okay, so I already told you that the Wi-Fi alerts had come through. Well, when I took the money, that's when the next two virus threat alerts came through. The first one came through right after the trailer sale, the very next day. The next two came in after I took the money. I took the money on July 30th, and that night, two more dark web originated threats came through. I had said it before, I'll say it quickly. One was for a dark web gambling site that was on my desktop computer, an old 12-year-old desktop Mac that I used once a year. I didn't even know he knew the login, but it was on a post-it on the back of the computer, but I'd never seen him touch it. So that was weird. The other virus alert was on his cell phone for that night. Both of them, the URL address that Xfinity gave me were from dark web corn sites. And this was extremely graphic, exaggerated depictions, animated from a very popular fantasy sci-fi movie series. And they involved depictions of women and beasts. And it was horrendous, just awful. That was what my research turned up. I didn't go there, but that's what my research turned up. I went to other places asking people who know. So that's where we're at. Despite the comfort of my last reading, the short, sweet reading that was 29A, part 29A and B, uh, things were just spinning out of control again. And thanks to Jim, chaotic Jim. I needed help. Jim was volatile. He was unpredictable. Now I had launched a really big cannonball at him by taking his money. I know he's thinking I'm going to do it the next month, and I promised him I wouldn't. And I even explained to him, like a parent does to a child, why I took the money, what I was going to do with it, and why I wasn't giving it back, and that he had the garage sale money. So I explained everything. It's not like this stuff was done shady. I was very upfront about everything I did. Not that he remembered, not that any of his personalities remembered. And you know what? It's not my problem. It was not my problem anymore. Hopefully, in a short month or two, we would be divorced, and that would be that. It wasn't a short month or two. And guess what? The shit just keeps flowing downhill. Becca and Alex, that I live with, they're going to be moving. They're taking a job transfer from the San Francisco Bay of California to Chicago, Illinois. They've invited me to go with them. We are all getting along great. We're very compatible. I've always just spent a lot of time with them once they started having children. So it was just a very fluid movement for us to all cohabitate. We're just wannabe Europeans, I guess. Anyway, they're going to be moving to Illinois. I cannot go. Things are completely off the rails. It's not a surprise to any of you who have already been through it, but this was my first go around. I want to note here that I had not ever had these kind of interactions with Jim or these encounters with Jim. Most of this was very, very new. Just when I got in that car and drove 780 miles west to California, it just was like dynamite blasting the side of a mountain. Things were in a free fall. It was really beyond obvious to all of us that I was going to have to head back to Utah County to handle things there. Peter was available at a moment's notice, and the very next day I had a reading with him. And that one's going to go a little differently. I'll let you know when we get there. Please join me for part 31A. I'm Sarah Wilder, and this is Surviving the Man I Married / Surviving the Man I'm Divorcing.